Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Peace be upon everyone watching us right now. Let the Quran Talk is the program, and I'm your host, Shabira Nasali. With me in studios is Shekat Radhi and Namakula. Shekat Radhi, assalam to our dear viewers.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before we go to the topic of the day, the questions that our viewers asked, like one asked, what is the biological relationship between Adam and Hawa?
Okay.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. In our previous lesson, we are talking about the Islamic view on women, and we are emphasizing a point that women are not necessarily wives. Women, can be mothers, can be in other capacities. And then we brought that historical background of Adam and Hawa. The Quran is very clear, chapter 4, verse 1. Allah tells us that Hawa was created from Adam.
Yes.
Clearly. وَخَلَقَ مِنْهَا زَوْجَهَا. From Adam, he created Hawa. And now the viewers wanted to know whether Adam was a mother or a father.
Or a father, yes.
For lack of a better word, maybe you'll also help me to get the right word, because Adam later married Hawa, like Hawa was a wife to Adam. And now the question that triggered the whole thing was that, was he at the same time a father and a husband?
And a husband to
So what the Quran tells us is that Hawa was created from Adam, and Hawa was a wife to Adam. So that time, we didn't have the laws in place. There was no judicial things. There was no law that prohibits incest the way it is now. If a man bears a child, I don't know how we call him. Maybe a father or so, but that is it. The fact is, Hawa was created from Adam. You can use any word to interpret that.
Thank you very much. So we stopped at a verse that wows women. It is verse 12, chapter 31. That chapter 12, verse 31.
Yeah.
That women are fond of plotting and conniving. I don't know how to phrase it.
Scheming.
Scheming.
They are good schemers.
Even the scholars, some scholars say that women are good at scheming and doing all those evil acts on people. So can you justify
as we stopped at that, but we agreed in principle that in the past and in the present we have good women and bad women.
Yes, of course.
Even now we have good women and bad women. The same happens to men. We have bad men
and good men as well. Yes.
Those who attended our lesson last week know that. So women are good at plotting. That verse you may not understand it well if you recite it in isolation. Actually, those who recite even half of it. I must clarify that. If you want to get the story well, you begin from 25, verse 25.
Verse 25, yes.
Chapter 12 of Surah Yusuf, verse 25.
Verse 25.
It was about the wife of a king admiring Yusuf, attempting to rape him, forcing him into adultery, and the story went on. So as there was a scuffle between Yusuf and that wife, Zulaikha. Yes. So she was forcing Yusuf into adultery, and Yusuf ran away, and they raced towards the door. فَاسْتَبَقَ الْبَابِ, they raced towards the door. As they raced towards the door, the king came in, the husband.
So the
found
king
them
was there.
In that. No, he was outside. Then he found them, and the wife said, "Oh no, how will you?" أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. قالت ما جزاء من أراد بأهلك سوءا إلا أن يسجن أو عذاب أليم. How will you treat somebody who wanted to do evil to your wife?
The wife said it the other way around. Forged the story that Yusuf actually wanted to.
And then the king got confused. He didn't know who is wrong in the whole saga. And Quran, Allah tells us, وشهد شاهد من أهلها إن كان قميصه قد من قبل فصدقت وهو من الكاذبين وإن كان قميصه قد من دبر فكذبت وهو من الصادقين فلما رأى قميصه. That is now 31. There was a baby in the whole story is long, but there was a baby among the people, among the family members, who said, "Oh king, don't be confused. Just the case is, if you find Yusuf's shirt torn from in front, then you should know that Yusuf was really wanted to rape
your wife. Yes.
But if you see Yusuf's shirt torn from behind, then it is the woman who wanted to force Yusuf into adultery."
Who was torn from behind?
And then the king, when he saw, when the king saw Yusuf's shirt torn from behind, he said, that is one of the, he told his wife, قال إنه من قيدكن إن كيدكن عظيم. The king told the wife that I know that is part of the many plots that you women make. Actually, your plotting skills are really great. He continued, chapter 30, verse 32. The king said, Yusuf أعرض عن هذا. Oh, Yusuf, just ignore. He told you, just ignore. And he told the wife, وَاسْتَغْفِرِي لِذَنْبِكَ. Oh, my wife, seek forgiveness from Allah. Because he couldn't again implicate the wife, taking him to court. He found out that the wife was in wrong, but he said, just ask for forgiveness from Allah. Really, you are among the sinners.
So does that verse
so the way they recite that verse,
the women are fond of plotting?
They may, but also the men do it. But what I'm saying, the problem with reciting that verse, they only recite this one, that Allah said women are good at plotting. Allah said that, telling us the story of
Zoraika,
the king of Egypt. The same way Allah talked about Iblis, the Satan, when he told him prostrate and do this, and Iblis told him, asjudu liman khalaqta tinan, will I prostrate before somebody whom you created from clay? So if Allah tells us that story, it is not him, it is Iblis said, but Allah tells us the story. In many cases, in many verses of the Quran, Allah tells us about Firaun. Firaun said, Ana rabbukum al-ala, I'm your Lord, I'm the king of Misri, I'm this and this. When the verse comes, it comes like that. So you cannot recite it in isolation. The problem is reciting that verse in isolation. The verse is there, but it has surrounding facts about it, especially the verses that are before it. Anyway, this is not a classroom environment, but we had a topic that's about Quran and women. After the time of Yusuf, we have another fact that we wanted to bring out. Nabi Musa alayhi salam. All divine books talk about Musa. And Musa was born at a time of Pharaoh.
Yes.
Actually, whenever you talk about Musa, you have to talk about Pharaoh.
Yes.
Was Pharaoh was an extremist in torturing people. He was a torturer. He used to kill, he used to murder people. And at the time Musa was born, all baby boys
were being
killed on the orders of Pharaoh. Said whoever has a baby boy should be killed. So Musa was born, and Quran chapter 28, Surah Al-Qasas, has a very interesting story about Musa. Surah Al-Qasas chapter 28, verse 10, verse 7. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وأوحينا إلى أم موسى أن أرضعيه فإذا خفت عليه فألقيه في اليم ولا تخافي ولا تحزني إنا رأدوه إليك وجعلوه من المرسلين. Oh, mother, Allah tells us that we inspired the heart of Musa's mother, that don't fear, just breastfeed that child. Don't fear, Pharaoh will not kill him. But he said, if you feel if you fear to breastfeed that child, throw him in the river Nile, this river Nile. They were in Egypt. Throw him in river Nile, and don't fear. We shall bring him back to you.
I can just imagine a mother putting
mother
your child
the
on,
baby
on,
in the waters.
on water. Yes.
So the mother did that and threw him in the river Nile. And it was in a basket. The baby was put in a basket, and the basket could move with the waves. And at the end of the story, that basket went towards the gates or the fence of Pharaoh. And the watchmen picked what? The basket. They took the basket to the wife of Pharaoh. But the mother, Quran tells us, Allah tells us in the Quran, that is 28:10. وأصبح أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وأصبح فؤاد أم موسى فارغا إن كادت لتبدي به لولا أن ربطنا على قلبها لتكون من المؤمنين. Like the heart of Moses' mother became empty. It's like she thought maybe my baby's, I don't know where he is. Yeah.
I can just imagine putting your baby on water in a basket.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but we made her heart firm so that she remains a believer. But what she said as a person, she told the sister to Musa, her daughter, that please watch that basket. Where is it going to land? It was a girl.
So the sister followed the basket.
Followed the basket, and they went to the gates of Pharaoh. The story was long also. But Asiya, the wife of Pharaoh, told Pharaoh, please, for God's sake, don't kill this baby.
Spare this boy.
Spare this boy. We may adopt him as a child. What I wanted from those verses is that as we talk about a very bad man who was Pharaoh in the life of Musa, there were 3 wonderful women in the life of Musa. Musa's mother, who could pray until Allah inspires her to do something. To the extent that message which Moses' mother received was not through a prophet, she was inspired. The positive words, the positive thinking. And the other woman is the sister to Musa, who coordinated the whole thing until Musa got back to his mother. And then the wife of Pharaoh, who is mentioned in chapter 66, verse 12, that believers, Allah cites example for the believers, like the example of Maryam and the wife of Pharaoh.
That is Asiya.
Asiya.
Yeah.
So that is a very good historical event that we also need to, we are proud of.
We are proud of.
Yeah, we are proud of.
Yes, and I'm sure our viewers are also proud of. Kindly send your comments and watch Let the Quran Talk. It's the best program ever. Continue sending your comments. We will be able to answer those questions, inshallah. Still on the Quranic view on women.
On women.
Yes.
Finally, before we go to the prophet's time, there is this wonderful woman, the wife of Imran. Chapter 3.
Chapter 3.
Chapter 3, Allah talks about the wife of Imran. Verse 35. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إذ قالت امرأة عمران رب إني نذرت لك ما في بطني محررا فتقبل مني إنك أنت السميع العليم. That wife of Imran was pregnant, and she said, "Oh Allah, I pledge this womb into your hands." I'm like he was sacrificing the womb and said, "If I deliver a child, will be servant of Allah, will be busy serving God's work."
Before she even saw the baby, she
just I pledged this
womb to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
When she delivered, it was a girl. She said, "Oh Allah, I've delivered, I pledged to you, but now this is a girl." And Quran tells us that Wallahu a'lam bima wada'at. Allah knows very well. He is the most knowledgeable. He knows. He's aware that you have given birth to a girl. The wife of Imran also had that thinking that maybe girls do not serve God. But he said, "Wa inni sammaytuha Maryam." I've named her Maryam, and I pray that you save her and his offsprings and her offsprings from the cursed devil. And when Maryam grew up, she delivered a miraculous child who is Nabi Isa alayhi salam without a father.
So the grandmother.
And actually, the lineage of the lineage of Maryam ended there. We don't have offsprings of Maryam. But the only child that she gave birth to is mentioned 2,000 years ahead because of the grandmother's prayer.
Prayed very hard.
On the same note, chapter 14, which is Surah Ibrahim, verse 37, Allah tells us about Ibrahim. Ibrahim said, ربنا إني أسكنت ذريتي بواد غير ذي زرع عند بيتك المحرم ربنا ليقيموا الصلاة فاجعل أفئدة من الناس تهوي إليهم وارزقهم من الثمرات لعلهم يشكرون. So Ibrahim prayed for his offsprings and said, "Oh Allah, I've put my family in a valley that is, it was a desert that has no fruits, there's nothing,
no water,
but please, oh Allah, make them good Muslims, let them be praying,
provide for them,
and let many hearts of people lean to them, like they admire staying with them,
to admire a place that doesn't have fruits, doesn't have water."
So that prayer brought in all the good things that we see in Makkah, in spite of being a desert. All the good things that we see there, the development, and perhaps even the petroleum, it must have been Ibrahim's prayer. Okay. So as Ibrahim's prayer impacted on his offsprings, the same way the prayer of the wife of Imran impacted on the children. That is the point I wanted to give out.
Yes.
That both men and women can pray for their children and Allah answers the prayers.
Yes.
So that marks the end of the historical background. We are now into the time of Prophet Muhammad
sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Let the Quran Talk is the program. Kindly share, comment, send those comments, send your questions, bring topics. We shall talk about those topics.
Whatever we know,
we shall give you.
So
we are on the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That brings us to the end of our program. Still, we have so much to give you on the Quranic view on women, and this time we are on the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Shabira Nasali is my name. Let the Quran Talk is the program. I've been with Sheikh Radi Anama. Your last few words in 2 seconds to our viewers.
I just promised the viewers that in the next lesson we are going to handle a woman as a wife.
A woman as a wife.
Inshallah.
That wows women as well. Okay, until next time, bye bye. Don't forget to comment, send your messages. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.